Hey everybody, welcome to Technically Unraveled. I am Kristen Fehrenbach, the Senior Director of Microsoft Go-to-Market here at Pax8. Welcome back. Please make sure that you are liking, sharing, subscribing. We got lots of stuff as always. Want to make sure that you are always up to date. As always, let's jump right into those updates because we got a few of them that are pretty cool. First and foremost, let's talk about audio conferencing. We've got a lot of questions about this. So want to make sure we hit this first and foremost. Want to make sure that before we get into it, you know that your account team, they're always here to support. So please make sure that you reach out to them when you have questions about it. But want to make sure if you know your partners, you're looking to utilize the audio conferencing for free, please make sure that you ensure that you're transferring your M365 audio conferencing with a promo to the Teams audio conferencing, which is a $0 SKU. So I know that's a little bit confusing. I know that you will have to do a SKU transition, but reach out to your account team if you have time. I'm over here. I'm like this one to that one. I know it gets a little bit back and forth, but reach out. We are definitely here to support. Next one, Gdap update. Ashley Moretti's not even here. We're still going to talk about Gdap, guys. Don't worry. Partners, you can move to Gdap today. However, I do want to call out that if you don't act on it, Microsoft will start to transition from DAP to Gdap. And I want to make sure that we're always just one step ahead of that because that date's going to come up pretty soon for customer tenants. That is May 22nd, 2023. So please make sure that we're having those conversations. DAP to Gdap, very important. As always, account teams are ready on standby to help with that. Something pretty exciting. We have it all over LinkedIn. We're going around talking about it quite a bit because there's a ton of resources on our brand new Microsoft webpage. I think we have a quick preview that we're going to roll through because there are a ton of resources. Bing! I love how that just powers up right there. So make sure that you go check it out. It's pax8.com/Microsoft. Talks a little bit about our expertise. But this is the part next that I really want to focus in on because it's super, super important to us to make sure that we go through and really understand where are you at with your business because we're here to support. Now, whether that is going to be to start the journey, if we're working to grow your business or accelerate it, there's different options for you. They're listed out. Please go through, check them out. Now, moving on to our next section, I am really excited about this because this ties in directly to who we are going to be speaking to here later for all of our knowledge. Now, this left side, this is going to be our channel events. We talk a lot about our Microsoft monthly updates. Those are those top ones. Right underneath, boot camps. You guys know, you heard it last time, Modern Workplace Bootcamp, it's up, it's live. Please make sure you register. That's going to be April 25th and 26th. Now, everything on that right side, that's directly in Pax8 Academy. We're going to go through tons of this stuff later today with Chris Kaiser, but it is definitely there as a resource. Now, the rest of the page, we're not going to walk through too in much depth here, but a lot of stuff here for you. We've got all of our different Microsoft clouds. There is a place for you to go and make sure that you can get access to our Microsoft playbook. You can fill out to schedule a call. Maybe you're not a partner and you want to become a partner. It talks about our solution designations, and at the bottom, it's got all of those other housekeeping. Can't go anywhere without talking about NCE and ProServe and all of that great stuff. So please make sure that you check out pax8.com/Microsoft. And one other shout out for the event. If you haven't registered for Beyond, we are coming up on the end of the month. Please make sure that you get your early bird pricing. Super, super important. If you're looking to attend, why not get it at a discounted rate? So from there, I want to go ahead and really dive into Pax8 Academy because my goodness, there are so many resources that are available, not only for Microsoft, but for other vendors too. But welcome on, Chris Kaiser. Thanks for joining me today.
Hey, thanks for having me. Really excited to be here.
Awesome. Chris, tell me what you do here at Pax8.
Well, I'll start with, so my title is the Director of Peer Initiatives, which I tell people I love as my favorite title because it's just enough syllables to sound interesting, but not enough to tell you what I'm accountable for. But let's take a moment. And really, I oversee the instructor-led courses and the peer groups here at Pax8 under the Academy umbrella.
Excellent. Excellent. So I know that we have a lot for Academy, right? And I feel like, I think before we even get started, before I jump into Academy, Chris, it's a Pax8 thing. It's like a rite of passage. I need to know what your fun fact is. It's like your entry into the show.
It is. I'm glad you kind of reminded me of that. I'm a huge music buff. I love music, all genres, all styles, all ages. Since a young kid, I always loved music. And thinking back, I've been to a lot of concerts. And one of the things that I kind of really kind of proud of, I didn't recognize it to be so significant at the time, but my very first concert was Queen. So I got to see the original lineup, Queen, Freddie Mercury with, 30 costume changes and, a big flamboyant, all these outfits, and just did a phenomenal performance. And I'll always remember that. So that's
Well,
kind of
now I'm
a memory,
jealous.
a special thing. It is quite a thing. Yeah. I didn't recognize it at the time, but looking back, it's like that was quite an event. So that's something I like to share as kind of a unique experience.
This isn't going to be shocking to you, or probably any of these producers that are on the back of this call. My first concert was NSYNC.
Yeah, not surprised by that one at all.
That's some of my favorite questions and stories, because it runs the gamut, where people will go with their parents to their first concert. It'd be something you never know, or maybe a guilty pleasure, right? Kind of a closet fan of somebody that people would not associate with you. Cool.
Yep. So I'm a little jealous of yours. I'm sure you are of mine. But Chris, tell me, what is Pax8 Academy, and why should partners be utilizing something like it?
Oh, absolutely. I am just excited to be part of Academy. I've seen the growth and the development over the last 3 years, and it's just something I'm really proud of what we've accomplished. There is so much that is, partner focused, really kind of almost designed with an MSP or a partner in mind, as far as all the content, all the learning. There's such a variety of resources, and I'll kind of go into, some of our purpose and our mission. It's a new word.
Mission. I make up words the whole time we're here. Don't worry.
You know what? If I can say it, if I can pronounce it and say it in a sentence, it's a real word as far as I'm concerned. But
exactly.
What we're really about is kind of, there's 3 main areas. That's kind of our focal point, and that's really kind of the engagement, enablement, and education for our partners. So
nice.
When we talk about partner engagement, really what that is how can we establish a deeper relationship? How can we go beyond the solution or the transaction? How can we be a resource and kind of have this relationship that's really unique with our partners? With the second one, with enablement, is really, how can we enable our partners to have better businesses, better teams, solution stacks, more efficiency, more profit, more, better work-life balance, whatever their goals are. What are the things we can do to enable our partners to accomplish those goals?
Because partners are always at different starting points, right? And I think that's something with this partner enablement, like, where are you guys at? And let us help.
Right. And it could be different for each person,
sure,
what people are trying to accomplish. So we really kind of look to find what are those resources that will help enable them. And then education, really just look at, we are so, fortunate. We, in this ecosystem, Pax8 has so many resources, so much expertise. And so with education, it's really, what can we take from our subject matter experts? What expertise do we have? How can we help educate our partners? And that's not just on one thing. It's tools, the technology, the solutions, line card, the business, thought leadership. So a wide variety. And those are kind of the 3 focal areas. And our mission really is, we kind of say this in Academy all the time, is our mission is to meet the partner where they're at. Like you said, there's a wide variety, there's not one answer to what our partners look like, right? So to meet the partner where they're at, with what they want to learn and how they want to learn it. So what we really kind of developed is, there's kind of 4 main, I don't know if you can call it lanes, portfolio
work streams. I don't know.
Yeah. Though that's a good one. I like that. I'm going to borrow that one. I'll use that on my
perfect. I like it.
So the work streams, but the first is content, and we refer to that kind of as Academy on Demand. And this is available to any of our partners and anybody within an organization or a company that has access to our marketplace can log into academy.pax8.com, and it's anytime they want. It's on demand, and it's anything from how to do something with a solution or a tool, uh, learning more about a technology. Maybe you have somebody new to your company that has to learn your solution stack, and that's a good way to get up to speed with the tools and solutions you're using. Could be business, could be, 4 levers of profitability is a real powerful one, or 6
Awesome.
common mistakes of service delivery. There's an amazing security hub that really has all kinds of resources around, maybe using the CIS framework in your business for security, or some of the tools and solutions. So Academy on
And so it's
Demand is
on
something
demand
that
anytime. So you're saying, hey, if I've got that night owl and they're up there in the middle of the night and they want to go through and learn CIS controls, they can log in and go through it at their convenience.
anytime they can put on their headphones at 2 a.m., listen to NSYNC and catch a video or whatever the case, right? Like a little throwback there. I had to put that out there.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, anytime, 24/7, available whenever they want. And then
Awesome.
moving on, we have instructor-led courses, and this is where we take a subject matter expert that knows content area really, really well, and we design a course that's very practical. We do these in small groups that are live virtual sessions led by the subject matter expert. So there's a lot of opportunity for engagement. They're kind of these high engagement small groups, so there's opportunities to question and answer, or to deep dive into an area, or to kind of probe sometimes the content a little bit, or sometimes even learning from each other. Other people in the course is kind of it's really kind of a powerful way of kind of delivering and providing this content. And so they're typically, a fixed duration, a fixed content. Most
Okay.
of the instructor-led courses can be completed within a month. Some courses might be once a week for 4 weeks for an hour a week. Some might be
Okay.
twice a week for 90 minutes. But it's very practical. One of the big ones that are really popular, we get tons of great feedback on, is deploying Microsoft 365 Business Premium, and some of my
Yes.
favorite things about
I'm
that,
so
that
excited
was
about that one.
that was well, and I love that was designed by, MSP engineers that have come to Pax8. They know what the experience is. It's not about
Yeah.
how to pass a test. It's really about how to use it and what are some of the features that might be hidden, or if you do this, or if we apply conditional access here, these are the things we have to think through, or ramifications. So very real world and very, very powerful.
Excellent.
So
Because test
yeah,
taking and real world, sometimes they're not quite aligned. So I like that it's made by MSPs. I think
just
that's awesome.
a little
Like, how
different
big is my
sometimes.
screen? My screen's not that big, but like it goes.
The fish. How big of a fish did you catch? Is
Exactly.
this big.
Exactly. Just hold it close to the camera, guys.
So that's the
I like it.
instructor-led courses, and we've gotten amazing feedback, and just to see how people respond to these courses, and sending
Perfect.
sending engineers or service managers. Moving up, we have peer groups, and peer groups are just building out that community of people and developing these deep, committed relationships with others, and putting them into groups where they can learn from each other. They can share. They can challenge each other. It's just dedicated, committed relationships of everybody helping each other improve and grow, right? And we've got Pax8 facilitators that all have industry experience. Can just provide structure and guidance, encourage accountability, communication, collaboration. Just
Awesome.
those communities are just
Accountability. I think
phenomenal.
that's huge.
Oh, I laugh back at my experience. If I was accountable to myself, that was an absolute joke. I could kick any can down the street for miles, right? But as soon as I had
Yep.
somebody else that was a peer, oh wow! I love Rex Frank, VP of Academy. He tells a story about his peer group was much more influential than his owners. Other people in the
Yep.
business or people he reported to had less of an impact than his peers when it came to getting something done and being accountable for it. That's powerful.
It is.
And
It
then
is. So I think that's
and
awesome. What is our fourth one? Because this one's
and
unique and interesting.
yeah, and this is our Pax8 Academy coaching, and this really comes from those that have been in the industry a long time, know Rex Frank and know C-level operations. Well, about 2 years ago, a little over, Pax8 acquired C-level operations, and they became part of the Academy family. And I was absolutely thrilled when that happened, and they came on board, and to get to work with these people that just have such knowledge and experience and have developed, really operationalized operations for MSPs over the last 10 plus years. It's just phenomenal. And so it's really about kind of learning best practices. And it's really about following a consistent 5 phase process for implementing any solution and looking at how you're running your
Awesome.
business. And weekly calls with an executive coach that's been trained and knows these things. Has a huge, huge impact. I've experienced that firsthand in MSP. I've seen people go through
Did
coaching,
you?
and
I
I've
didn't
seen
know
their
that.
growth and
Okay.
maturity. Yeah, absolutely. And that was a phenomenal experience. I would absolutely firsthand recommend, exploring that for any of our partners or any business.
Nice.
So
So a couple
those are the
questions
4
kind of
lanes. Yeah.
rolling around because it's funny being here with Britton. She's saying how she loves the different facets of learning. And when I look and I think about that, I think about how everybody learns in a different type of way. And we're meeting partners where they're at with these 4 different work streams, whatever we're going to call them, right? I like work streams.
Yeah,
So
I like it.
when I talk about content, if I'm a partner, am I just going to roll through this content in one day? How often are we updating courses? How often do we add courses? Like how many courses?
Oh, great question. uh, No, I'd almost put it out there if anybody knows Jerry Seinfeld and his love of cars, one of my favorite answers when somebody asked him, how many cars do you have? His answer was a number that if I told you, you would not say, oh, that sounds reasonable. So I can't give you a number like this X number of courses, but I can say we are adding content weekly. And what's great is I think one of the things is sometimes it's from partner feedback. We launched an Azure consumption course, and that's kind of based in response to some native things that have happened in the industry. And so we had an opportunity to say, here's a way to teach and educate and put something out there that anybody could access on their own and learn about, some very concerning trends and things and ways to remediate. So we will frequently get feedback from a partner and say, you know what,
Excellent.
we have an answer, we have information, let's put something together and get that into Academy content and make that available to partners. So
I love
constantly
it.
being developed and
Yes.
added to.
I know that our Microsoft team in particular, we make it such a point to continuously feed in additional content, additional information into your team because Microsoft, the only thing that is consistent with Microsoft is the change, right? So everything's always changing and we've got to update courses, all of that good stuff. So I'm excited to hear about that. I think one of the other questions that was kind of rolling around was the peer groups. How long are the peer groups? How long do those last for?
Honestly, it's really kind of a perpetual experience for partners. We've had
Awesome.
partners in for, 2.5, 3 years, just consistent because they're still getting value with those relationships. There's always something to work on in a business, right? You never really get to that point where you've got all the answers. Either there's
Sure.
something else to address or there's something that changes, their industry or in your own business, your goals. So it's really kind of in perpetuity as long as there's those connections and values. And that's where we continue to drive value to keep that engagement.
You mean NCE wasn't just like easy for all of our partners?
Yeah, that was a 4-letter word. We had so much conversation about that. Absolutely. It was such a great resource for
I love
people
it.
to know they
And
weren't alone.
to be able to, gain the trust and continue that relationship is awesome. Now, we have all these different work streams. If I'm a partner, how do I get access into Academy? And I think that there's some costs that might be associated with some of those work streams. So can you tell me about how to get access and then what are the costs associated?
Absolutely. So let's start with first thing is kind of engage with your CAM, or there's an operational solution consultants at Pax8 that specialize in all of the resources that a business maybe uses but doesn't necessarily resell. Academy is one of those things. Academy is about how can we help you, engage, enable, and educate our partners. So the operational solution consultants are the experts at knowing about Academy and can help navigate the options. Um, our team underneath Academy, the Collaborate team in particular that runs the instructor-led courses and the peer groups, happy to jump on a call or talk to people who help
Awesome.
navigate through. So yeah, engaging with the CAM or connection. If you're not a partner, sign up. Very easy, simple process. Become a partner. A lot of resources available to people.
Excellent. So you did say we take partner feedback, and I know we, even from the Azure Abuse and Consumption, there were a lot of questions around it. So we did stand up a course relatively quickly on that one. So, if a partner has questions or they have feedback or any of that, what is a effective way for them to give us that information besides maybe putting it in the YouTube chat right now? Because I know we're going to look through that later. But how else? Yeah, how else can partners give us that information?
We have an email, collaborate. And by the way, collaborate spelled with an 8 at the end instead of ATE
Okay.
because, I
Good. Why not?
mean, why not, right? So collaborate, COLLABOR number 8 at pax8.com. Collaborate at pax8.com is a great way to ask questions with feedback. Again, reaching out to your CAM, getting connected with your, operational solution consultants. But feedback is great. Hey, do you have XYZ? That's where like the Power Apps, the Power Platform for Microsoft has become, obviously it's taken off and it's kind of a huge interest area. So that's something where we got feedback and we're like, oh, we have a lot of partners that want to learn more. How can they leverage this? What's the best way to understand it? And kind of what are some next steps? So we went and kind of took our expertise, our knowledge, our resources here at Pax8 and put together a course just around, the Power Platform and Power App. So that kind of feedback from the partner is invaluable to us because we can take that and look, oh, we do have a resource. We do have things. Let's
Got
put
it.
something together and put it out there, either as an on-demand course or an instructor-led course, or whatever makes the most sense to put out there. Oftentimes it's all the above, right?
Got it. So they can get the content for free. The instructor-led
Yep.
courses have a cost to
Inst-
them.
The instructor-led courses are a one-time cost, and it just depends
Okay.
on the scope, the duration. Each course might have a slightly different cost associated, but they're, I'd consider it, an inexpensive one-time cost to get a participant to
Nice.
have access to a subject matter expert, small group, and learn the material. And then,
Perfect.
peer groups do have a subscription cost, as does the coaching. And again,
Okay.
refer to your team, support team, your CAM, or reach out to us and we can kind of provide all the information and guide partners through which resource makes sense, where you're at, what
Sure.
time, what energy, what engagement, what commitment makes sense to you in your business. Meet the partner where they're at with what they want to learn and how they want to learn it.
I like it. Technically, Joshua in the chat has a good question, which I won't put you on the spot because it's specific to Microsoft Co-op, but can co-op funds be used for Academy? And I will answer that for you, Chris. Don't worry. Yes, they absolutely can. Yes. So I know that there are some strict buckets that you have to claim co-op money in. And if you have questions, reach out to your account team about it specifically. But you can use co-op money towards these trainings, which is incredible. So make sure that, one, please do not ever let these funds expire. That would just break my heart. But two, reach out to your account team if you have questions about that. So, Chris, how many subscriptions, or maybe not subscriptions is the right word, I don't know, how many people from one company can have access to the on-demand content?
There's no limit set. So as long as somebody has access to the marketplace, we've even created an account type called, an academy type. So in
Okay.
the marketplace, when they add users, they can add a user just as an academy user type. And so
Excellent.
there's no real limit set. And
So
anybody
the
within
limit
an
does not
organization,
exist.
it's like limitless.
Excellent.
Wow.
See, this is exciting. I was
I
looking
like that better
through
than
the,
unlimited. Limitless sounds better than unlimited,
it
doesn't it?
does, doesn't
Sounds
it?
so much
It's
more
just
powerful. Yeah.
very vast feeling. The other vast feeling thing, I was scrolling through the Academy website earlier and I saw it talks about a 95 CSAT score. I was a little
Mm.
elusive, maybe. What does that
Oh.
mean?
So, we use NPS and CSAT in a couple different areas. Pretty common in a lot of places in the industry, but the CSAT and the customer satisfaction scores, we will use those for coaching clients, and we will do weekly polls. And the client, partner has a call, and they're with a coach and working with them for an hour and going over homework and assignments, etc. They're given the opportunity to provide feedback, and some of that is a CSAT score, to 100, and that 95%. That's pretty phenomenal. That's pretty amazing.
That's
We
incredible, is what it
internally,
is. That's awesome.
and the feedback. I wish I could just have an episode just on the testimonials. They just range from
We'll do that next time.
just we. Because they really range from humorous and tongue in cheek and cheeky, and but some of them are really really heartfelt. They're just really sincere, and some of them, the testimonials almost get really kind of emotional. Just people reflecting on the impact that we're having on their business, and we see transformation stories over and over again. They're just such an impact. So I love what I do, and I love what Academy is accomplishing.
Sure.
But yeah, to answer your question, the CSAT scores, and we also do the same thing for the instructor-led courses. And some of the
Awesome.
courses, have also 95, 98, CSAT scores on the course. NPS, we had over the last few quarters, we've done NPS for peer groups. We've got an 88 NPS score, which is again just
88.
phenomenal for an NPS
Yeah.
score of these are partners participating in these in the peer group. So
So
feels like we're
they're
on the right
paying for
track.
it, but they're really happy.
Absolutely, and that's a big part of their. It's a priority. It's something that is having an
Awesome.
impact, and that they just feel about. And it's just fun to be a part of that.
I'm not shocked that Devin picked up on my Mean Girls reference that I slyly threw in there. But Chris, the other thing that really got me on the website is I want to make sure that I saw 110% growth in cloud revenue. That is massive. Like how
I,
is that a thing? And how are we not just funneling people into this? Or is that what we're doing today?
Well, this is part of this process, is the growth, and this is our next chapter. I think a big part of it is that it's not a magic bullet. It's not a pill. It's still a lot of work and effort on our partners' parts. It just is. But the resource, the tool, and the support just make it happen. And the way I like to put it is, I think that what we put focus and intent on is what we impact. And I really am such a big believer that Academy has such an ability to provide focus and intent for our partners that allow them to do the work and impact their businesses. That's kind of a simple way of putting it, but I really am a big believer of that.
Oh, Chris, this show is only 30 minutes long, but I feel like there's so much more to talk about Academy. But I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today. I think we just got that first layer off, so we're going to have to keep talking about it because I know we are pushing so much Microsoft stuff, other stuff too, but Microsoft stuff into Academy. So thanks so much for being here.
Thank you. I really appreciate everything you're doing, and it's just so much fun to see what you're accomplishing, your growth, the way you're reaching out, connecting, touching, and really am honored that you invited me here to talk about Academy. I love what we do and feel very privileged to be here.
Thank you so much, Chris. All right. Awesome, guys. Thanks for tuning in. As always, want to make sure that you are like, share, subscribe, do all of those great things. This next week, we are going to have Elliot Chandler. He is on the show pretty regularly. We are excited to talk to him. We have so much Microsoft content that just consistently comes out. And he's going to help us just gather all of that information and make sure that what's the most relevant, what makes the most sense. So I'm sure you guys remember him. We're excited to get him back on the show. Thanks for sticking with us today on Technically Unraveled. We will see you this next week. Bye, guys.
Thank you.